The US dollar has flourished for decades as the global reserve currency, but now there are fears that its days of dominance may be numbered. As the US dollar continues to strengthen against other currencies, many nations are now taking steps to protect themselves against a free fall of the dollar. This is especially true for countries with large amounts of US debt, as a sudden dollar collapse would cause them to default on their loans. Recent events, most especially the coronavirus pandemic and economic crisis, have only accelerated the dollar's strength as a global reserve currency. The free fall of the dollar is indicative of structural weakness in the American economy and its monetary policy. As a result, countries are taking measures to reduce their exposure to the risk posed by a possible declining dollar. Welcome to Savvy Economists. In this video, we will discuss how nations are erecting defenses against the free fall of the dollar. In clear terms, no one wants to put their economy in jeopardy by banking on the United States dollar. Don't forget to please watch, like, and share this video if you enjoy it. Also, leave your comments and thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more related content similar to this. In March 2018, China launched a crude oil futures contract priced in yuan and convertible into gold. This effectively removed two of the main barriers to buying oil in yuan, a lack of local trading hubs with contracts priced in yuan and concern over how it could be converted into gold in case of need. They saw a boom in sales just a few minutes after the launch, with top commodities like Trafigura, Freepoint, and Glencore among the first to purchase the new contract. Soon after, Russia and Iran followed suit by launching similar contracts priced in local currencies, the ruble and rial, respectively. The dollar's status as the world's premier reserve currency is under threat as other nations are growing tired of shouldering the burden of propping up the greenback. In response, they are increasingly turning to alternative currencies and investing in gold as a hedge against the dollar's decline. It is a scary proposition for any nation, let alone those that rely on their currency's strength as an economic foundation. The US dollar has always been the world's reserve currency, and it is this status that has allowed the greenback to remain the go-to safe haven investment for centuries. However, with multiple trade wars now raging and growing tensions between Russia and Ukraine continuing to escalate, there are fears that things could soon turn for the worse, potentially leading to another major financial crisis similar to what happened in 2008 and leading to another global recession. The United States has long been the world's economic powerhouse, but its grip on the global economy is slipping. The dollar is in free fall, and the possibility of it collapsing is imminent. The dollar's role as the world's reserve currency has allowed the United States to borrow freely and live beyond its means for decades. But now, the chickens are coming home to roost. The dollar's value is plunging, and other nations are taking steps to protect themselves from the fallout. China, Japan, and South Korea have all stopped or reduced their purchases of U.S. Treasury bonds in recent months. They are instead turning to other investments, such as gold, that will be more stable in a time of economic uncertainty. The European Union is also considering diversifying its reserves away from the dollar. This would be a major blow to the United States, as it would likely lead to even further declines in the value of the dollar. The free fall of the dollar is bad news for the United States and its citizens. But it is also a sign of changing times. The era of American dominance is coming to an end, and other nations are starting to assert their own economic power. As the United States government continues to debt spend its way into a possible future fiscal crisis, foreign nations are increasingly looking to protect themselves from the effects of an unexpected dollar collapse. With the US dollar making up over 60% of global reserves, a collapse in its value would have major repercussions for the global economy. This has led many nations to start diversifying their foreign currency reserves away from the greenback. According to a September post by Yahoo Finance, Japan is one of the latest top major countries that have joined the likes of India and Chile in stepping into the foreign exchange fray. The report also pointed out that in order to fight the mighty greenback, India and Chile have since been tapping their dollar stockpiles. The Post also reported that the second world's biggest economy after the United States, China, has also continued to strengthen its defense against the free fall of the dollar with a more stronger FX fixing. Various central banks around the world are also planning on hiking interest rates due to the current inflation in consumer prices and FX depreciation. Other nations are also taking more extreme measures to defend themselves against a potential dollar collapse. Iran has started using a gold-backed national currency, while Venezuela has gone so far as to stop using the dollar altogether in international trade. The trend of nations moving away from the dollar is likely to continue as long as the U.S. government keeps spending more than it can afford. If the dollar does eventually lose its status as the world's reserve currency, it could lead to inflation and economic chaos in the United States. The coming year could see the geoeconomic landscape transform from a unipolar, U.S.-centered world to a multipolar one with new powers rising and old ones reasserting themselves. The dollar will continue to batter other global currencies as investors look for safe havens after a year marked by political shocks, trade tensions, monetary tightening, and growing concerns about inflation at home. With the Federal Reserve having raised interest rates over 4 times this year, emerging markets are under pressure to raise their own rates sharply or risk capital outflows and currency depreciation that would further hinder economic growth. More than 70% of the world's population now lives in countries with a depreciating local currency against the dollar, a trend that could likely accelerate more if the dollar maintains its dominance. The new year has ushered in new uncertainties across global markets as every nation is scrambling to protect its domestic economy from the secondary effects of negative developments elsewhere. Nations are therefore taking steps to insulate themselves from the potential fallout by stockpiling dollars, diversifying their reserves, and making contingency plans for a dollar collapse. It remains to be seen whether these measures will be enough to protect the global economy from a dollar crash, but it is clear that nations are taking the possibility very seriously. As the value of the dollar continues to decline, it's important to take steps to protect yourself from the free fall. One way to do this is to diversify your investments. Instead of keeping all of your money in dollars, consider investing in other currencies, commodities, or even gold. This will help to insulate you from the effects of the falling dollar. Another way to protect yourself is to be aware of what's going on with the economy. Keep an eye on the news and economic indicators, and be prepared to make changes to your investment portfolio if necessary. For example, if you see that the dollar is about to take a plunge, you might want to sell some of your investments and move into cash. Also, you might want to talk to a financial advisor if you're unsure about what steps to take. By taking these precautions, you can help to safeguard yourself from the free fall of the dollar. That's all for today, guys. What do you think about a possible free fall of the dollar? Feel free to let us know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. See you next time.